It's a pleasure to have you here. We're coming to you live from Akokumlimle Studios, DSTV channel 421, and we're also on GoTV channel 144, as well as your digital television. To the details now. Many people in and around the West MAMPRUSI district are running for their lives as floods resulting from torrential rains and the spillage of some 2 local dams have submerged a whole community. Homes, livestock, farms and major roads have been heavily flooded in that latest incident. The MCE4 of the area, Aremeyao Somolaki, broke down in tears at the sight of the extent of havoc caused by the floods.
Early morning, we were crying for the people of good people of Tinker, not knowing that it was going to extend. Tinker and Dimia, not knowing that it was going to extend to Gabini. As we speak, all the houses in Gabini have been submerged. Others have collapsed. The water, they can't take anything outside the community. You can see that some are still falling. We have asked that gather all their items and send to the district assembly. And I mean, in the short term, we have to look at measures that we can use to accommodate them. Probably we have to talk to some landlords in Wale and other communities to accommodate the people for the meantime. Whilst in the medium term, we look at how best we can solve the problem of the spillage of the dam. Then in the long term, we look at how best we can resettle the people very well. And we pray that as government will put on all measures to see to it that this social disaster will not happen again so far as the municipality is concerned. We are with them. We are here this morning to see how the problem will be solved. That this is a natural disaster where we don't have any solution as we speak. We are calling on the experts. I've called the regional minister, and then the regional NADMO directors, and I've also informed the headquarters accordingly. Who are also looking at how best we can even divide the route where the water can pass to the other side. But with that one, we have to seek permission from the highways authority. I think that will be a short-term measure for us to resolve the problem. We are with them. We can see that they are suffering. We are also suffering. We are calling on all foreign enterprises, government and other parastatal agencies to come to our aid and support the good people of Gabini, Tinker and Dimia to go out of this problem. This is a serious disaster. I haven't seen this before in my life. This is the first time.
An NPP executive and other affected residents spoke with JoyNews.
This morning, as around early dawn, the whole community was taken over by water, and we all suspect it is the Yanni Dam that has already given way, including the Guabulga Dam. So the whole community now has been flooded. People are evacuating their livestock and properties onto the main road. So we need an agent solution to it. We need a way of people coming with an excavator to create a way for the water to pass and leave the community. Yes, I am Alaji Jekopantake, MPP chairman.
So what will you be doing now? Because
right now I'm getting back to the assembly to inform the municipal coordinating director and then the MC, so that they will rush here and we'll see what antidote we can put onto it. In fact, the people are desperate. There is no way they can control the situation. The road, the water has even taken over the road. That is crossing the road from Gabini to the other side of the road. If we are not careful, the place will now become impassable for passengers coming from Nalergo and those coming from Walwali side to the other end. So Gabini is in a terrible situation. Most of the houses, I know within the next 30 or 40 minutes will start collapsing. Yes, the whole town is flooded. The next community is Katabanawa, and all the water is moving there. So I won't be surprised if that community too is flooded. So I'm just rushing back to the assembly to see the municipal chief executive and the coordinating director, so that we see what immediate solution we can put to get way for the water to leave and leave the community. All right. As we can all see what is happening by the roadside, the community just got up this morning and the whole community is submerged with water. A spillage over from the Bagri Dam. that is causing this havoc here. There's another community ahead called Dimia. The dam over there has also broken, and that particular community too is completely submerged. As we can all see, the houses are falling inside the water. It's a terrible situation, unprecedented. We've never observed this before. And then
the road as well, the main road.
The main road from here linking to the regional capital has been cut off. Vehicles cannot pass through. So we are currently stranded here. We as a party have arranged a vehicle to be conveying the people and the limited foodstuff that they've been able to salvage from their damaged homes to the nearby community, Walawale, the district capital. There's no place for them to be saved apart from getting to Walawale, which is just about 2.5 kilometers away from the community. As you can hear, the houses are falling.
Yeah, and so that's
being flooded. And this is our first time of seeing such a thing. Last it came, but it wasn't this way, and we don't know why. We learned some these rivers, the bundles of rivers have got broken. So that is the cause of those things. So many, you can see yourself, everything is flooded. Even we those standing here, we are risking our life. The water can come and take us out. So right now we don't have anything to do. We are appealing to the government to come for aid. It's from the Guabriga side, and that place too is being destroyed. It's good you go there and cover there yourself. That place is being destroyed. So there's not even road for you to go to that place. The whole area is covered with water.
Where are you going?
We do research with farmers. But because of the flood, we cannot continue.
The flood? Why? You can't cross?
Yeah, we can cross the bridge from Walewale to Dimia or from Gabune. Is cut off, so we can't cross. That is why we are just by the
So you are going back?
Because of the floods, that has caused a lot of people stranded here, as you can see even around. Everybody is stranded, they are trying to cross. Even the community that is just by the roadside here is falling. If you look at the houses, just turn and look at the houses. They are all falling. The community people are in the mess of the water. And so I think life is paramount. We are only praying that.
You heard some residents and commuters who've been affected by the floods. Well, my colleague, Northeast Region correspondent Elias Tanka, has been on the ground. There's also a number of emergency and security officials there to assist victims. He joins us live with more. Hello, Elias. When we spoke earlier at about 10 a.m., there was prediction that the floods would rise, the water level will rise. What's the current situation now? Hello, Ilyasu. What is the current situation in the MAMPRUSI West District?
Hi, Benny. The situation is getting worse. As you can see, I'm currently at the community for Banawa. It is just a handshaking distance from the municipal capital, Walewale. And as you can see, this is the right side of the community, and it's totally flooded. We're just coming from another community called Gardini, which we reported from earlier on in the morning. That particular community is also sitting in water. Over 600 people have evacuated from the community, and more are evacuating from those particular communities. The background there is currently happening is that several dozens of vehicles traveling from Nalirgu, from Kampala, from Walewale actually to other parts of the region, especially the regional capital, are transferred thousands of them. And now what they are doing is to split the main road for the flow to divert the flow currently. And so that's where the men they are doing currently. They are being assisted by officials of the National Disaster Management Organization. And so as we speak right now, authorities are struggling to ensure that the flow will not get to the municipal capital Walewale.
Ilyasu, if you could hear me, the NADMO director said there were challenges trying to prevent commuters from crossing over to the other side because of fear that the floods will get worse. And he said he was calling for reinforcement from the Regional Police Service. What is the latest with regards to commuters? Are they succeeding? Are they heeding the advice from NADMO?
I can see some commuters being turned away. Earlier, I saw a police vehicle here, which was passing for directing the commuters. But as we speak right now, several vehicles are being turned away. And the NADMO officials are still here, even though they are struggling. I mean, what has happened currently is that they have provided vehicles on the side of the road that has been blocked by this water. And so those coming from Nalepo stop where the water is cut off, and they will have to wait to walk several meters into the water to cross to come and join the car that is stationed here to take them to Wale. And those same 10-20 brings down to those also traveling to Nalero. There's a vehicle that is stationed over there. The commuter to get down, walk several meters to join that particular vehicle. And so they are managing the situation. But a lot more vehicles, passengers are still coming through. They are being stopped and some are being turned away.
Finally, Ilyasu, we can see from the videos, it looks a bit cloudy where you are. Tell us about the weather condition. Well, we seem to have lost Ilyasu there, but just bringing us live updates from the West MAMPRUSI district where flood waters have submerged communities. I understand we have Ilyasu back. Hello, Ilyasu.
Yes, baby.
What's the weather situation there?
Hi, baby.
Too bad. We'll work the lines better and hopefully get Ilyasu to give us an update on the weather. The weather is important because we understand that torrential rains coupled with the spillage of the Bagri Dam and some 2 other dams within the locality is what has caused this flooding. Well, here at Multimedia, through our Joy 99.7 FM platform, that's on the Super Morning Show, we've been appealing for support for victims of the flood through hashtag Up to Us campaign. No contribution is too small to put a smile on the faces of our brothers and sisters in the north during these hard times. Here's host of the Super Morning Show, Kozo Youngson, with more on that.
Is bring the human stories so that we can all understand and situate ourselves in what is happening there, because that's what will make us understand the need to come to people's aid when we can imagine it happening to us. And what has happened to these people is terrible. In the northern region, we went to a community called Nawuni where I met a fisherman. His fishing net, his traps, all of them washed away. So he can't feed his family. So he and his family are now sheltered in a school, and it's only the kindness of strangers that feeds them, because he has no other way of getting them food. So you can imagine there are hundreds of these people. In the northeast region alone, 15,000 people are displaced, according to a report that was commissioned by NADMO. So you start to see that these are people who, if we don't step up and do something for them, they have no option. They have no hope. There are people right now in the community that we have been highlighting. The water is rising, even where they have taken their belongings to keep dry on the road. The water is now flooding that road. You know, so where are they going to go? If somebody doesn't go there, move them away and keep them somewhere safe and dry and sustain them until their homes can be restored. That's up to us.
Indeed, it is up to us, and we are appealing to you to help our brothers and sisters in the flood-hit areas of the northern Savannah and northeast regions. Away from that, 22 persons arrested in connection with secessionist attacks in parts of the VOLTA region have been released. This comes at the back of efforts by security officials intensifying their search for individuals suspected to have been involved in the space of violence recorded in the VOLTA region over agitations to have that particular part of the country ceded from Ghana. My colleague Fred Kwame Asare has been speaking with security officials in the region. We'll bring you updates from that interaction with Fred Kwame Asare and security officials in the region later. But let's go to Ivy Setoji, who's been attending a press conference by some chiefs in the North Tong area over the same matter. Ivy, tell us what issues came up at this press conference. Hello, Ivy. Hello, Ivy. Can you tell us what issues came up at this press conference organized by the chiefs? We don't seem to have Ivy on the line now. We'll try and work that and bring it to you. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo says Ghana security agencies will deal with separatist groups who've been perpetrating violence in parts of the VOLTA region. He explains he opted to remain silent following last Friday dawn's revolt in order not to cause panic. Government has in the last week been criticized for not handling the matter appropriately. But speaking on Hello FM in Kumasi on Wednesday night, President Akufo-Addo said the army, police and other security agencies are on top of the issue. We'll be hearing from President Akufo-Addo shortly. But let's go to Ivy Setoji, who's been at a press conference organized by chiefs in North Tong over the issue. Ivy, what issues came up? Hello, Ivy. Let's head to the VOLTA region now, to North Tong constituency to be precise. Ivy Setoji has been attending a press conference organized by chiefs there. She joins us with the latest on that. Hello, Ivy. What are the chiefs saying?
Okay, so the chiefs are saying that the people of the Western Togoland should stop inflicting wounds and damage to the people of North Tong. Right now, they are saying that North Tong has no boundary jurisdiction agreement between Britain and Germany in the year 1885 to 90. The Everett territory was split into two. So they are asking these people to stop all they are doing in the district. They are also calling on the youth of the town to desist from associating themselves with these people. They are also sending a strong signal that anytime any of them are seen, they will live to regret it. So that is what is happening. The press conference is still ongoing here in Joapo.
Ivy, we understand that you are picking up information about some other person who's lost their life as a result of the disturbances.
Yes, so that is the information we are picking. That is the unconfirmed information we are picking now. We are trying to get to the police and the relevant authorities to see if this is really true. So that is what we are doing here in Joapo. We'll do a follow-up on this particular issue. Thank you very much, Ivy Setoji. They're bringing us the latest. Let's stay a while on this. Former Member of Parliament for Hohoi West and historian Kosi Kedem has proposed that the nation Ghana exists as a federal state like Nigeria or the United States of America. The former MP insists the cultural and political identity of the historic British Togoland Trust territory has been lost as a result of an error by former colonial masters at the time of independence. His comment comes at a time that separatist groups claiming the independence of the territory as Western Togoland have attacked state installations like police stations and an STC yard in violent protest. Though Mr. Kedem disagrees with them, he says there is a historical error which should be corrected.
Our political and cultural identity have been consumed by Ghana. You see, we are talking about sovereign equality and partnership. No one group should consume the other. They should coexist.
How does that look practically in terms of government, in terms of ministers, in terms of members of parliament? How does that look practically?
Look, for instance, in the United States, we are over 50 states, isn't it? But there are state governments, and then we have an umbrella government, which is the federal government. Something like that could be done. In Nigeria, there are over 36 states. And there's an umbrella decision. Nobody, none of us, at least me, so far as I'm concerned, I'm not talking about secession, and I will not support secession because our history is intertwined. You see? So all that we want to say is that, look, even the opposition at that time, Buzia and Dankwa, said that the Ghana Constitution was not adequate enough to allow the people of British Togoland to attain independence with Ghana. Because there were no constitutional rights, there were no constitutional safeguards, nothing. The people were just consumed. Well, you can call it a federal state. Some people in South Africa, for instance, they don't call it a federal state, even though they have states. And then,
but that system of governance,
exactly,
like the United States of America.
Yeah.
Yeah. So run here.
So the identity. You see, people are trying to reduce the UN Trust Territory of Togoland, British Togoland, into a region. And they are saying, oh, after all, the Ashanti, so. No. Transvolta Togo, what do you call it? The UN Trust Territory of Togoland is not a region.
This is your election headquarters, and today the Electoral Commission began the voter registration exercise for persons who could not participate in the main one, and this is being organized at their district offices. We understand that there's chaos at one of those offices in the central region. My colleague Richard Kojonyako has the latest on that. Richard, what's happening?
Well, so what's happening is that the parliamentary candidate for the NDC in the Cape Coast North constituency, Dr. Kwame Nyaku, you remember that he was challenged, went, appealed, and then the court ordered that the EC should register him. So this morning he came here to avail himself of the opportunity, but he's been challenged again. And after the challenge, there's been some chaos, and so he's brought here a lot of police personnel here who are ensuring that sanity prevails. I've got the Cape Coast North Vice Chairman of the NDC here to throw more light why this is happening. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Tell us why this is happening here, why you have massed up here.
Okay, let me summarily put it for you. You see, we were told that by the regional EC boss that we should come to the municipal office, the district office, for our PC to be registered as directed or ordered by the High Court General. We did so this morning. We were here and we met the EC district boss, Asenso. He asked us where we wanted to be registered. We pointed at one of the centers. So he said we should go there to register. We went there. He also got there. Immediately we started the whole process. One of the MPP executives, I think is the youth organizer, he questioned the whole process. He said, no, our PC, Dr. Kwame Nyaku, couldn't be registered because...
Did he state any reason?
Now, his reason was that he does not fall within the category that is to be allowed to be registered today. So our PC wouldn't be able to register. So our censor then said, oh, no, you can allow him to register so that you challenge him. I was shocked. I was amazed by that statement. I said, why should he be challenged again when the court had ordered that he should be registered with a new address? Because he had a problem with his first address, as you guys said. So why now again? You just want to frustrate us. But now I should shut up. I should allow him to go through the process and be challenged. So I kept quiet. He was allowed to register. He registered thinking that he will be given the card. He withheld it again.
So now you have to go through the process of appearing before the committee.
Very good for them to release the card. But you know, that process is a very cumbersome one. It's part of the strategy or the process of frustrating us so that our candidate will throw in the towel and then give up, if you like. Then we will allow MPP to go all alone. But that is not going to happen.
So, Bennett, you heard Dr. Shaibu Akansi, and he is the vice chairman of the NDC for the Cape Coast North constituency, explaining to us why the situation is so here.
Thank you very much, Richard Kojonyako. Let's quickly cross over to the northern region now. Martina Bugri is there for us. Martina, what can you report from the EC's district offices in the northern region?
Metro EC offices, and I must say that there are long queues and people have come in their numbers to register. But the fear is that with the way they have just 2 machines each for the registration exercise, and I'm told that is a directive from national, and so they are supposed to use just 2. what it means is that there's a possibility that several people will not be able to register. Because as at 11 o'clock, not up to 100 people had registered at the Tamale metro area, but we had several people, over 200 people in the queue, I should say.
Thank you for that update. Martina Bugri is our Northern Region correspondent. You're watching JoyNews today with me, Bernice Abubeidulansa. We'll be back with more news to stay. Thank you for staying here on JoyNews today with me, Bernice Abubeidulansa. So let's head to the courts now. Justice Amos Wuntawuni, who's hearing the Kennedy-Japan contempt case, says he's adjourned it to October 6. An order issued by the court cited by JoyNews states that the judge reached this conclusion, quote, upon sober reflection on the return date, unquote. Medical Dr. Ken Addo of the Holy Trinity Spa was to appear before the court today, October 1, to address it on an excuse duty he issued the legislator. Court correspondent Joseph Akable joins us with more. Joseph, what more do we know about this sober reflection issue that accounted for the adjournment?
28, when we were last in the court, and the judge had indicated that we come back on Thursday. When we got to the courtroom today, the court was empty except the clerks who were sitting there going about their duties. And so we asked questions and did our own inquiries, and we chanced on this order, which was issued by Justice Wuni. And the order actually does not explain what exactly he means by sober reflection, but states that as the reason upon which he decided to adjourn the case to the 5th of October. And the doctor who is supposed to appear before him to explain the medical excuse was present in the courtroom, but once the court was not sitting, it means he also has to come back next week. And so the lawyers of Mr. Japan were not present either. It appeared they had received this order ahead of time, so they did not show up in the courtroom. And so as it stands, they are supposed to come back on 5th October, and the reason given by the judge per the document signed indicates that upon sober reflection on the date that he adjourned the case, that is October 1, he had decided to move it to October 6, that is next week Tuesday, for continuation of the case.
Court correspondent Joseph Akable with the latest on that contempt case involving MP Kennedy-Japan. Now, as the world gets smarter, there's an increased dependence on electronic gadgets, which also means there's more demand for electricity. This trend, as experts advise, can best be contained by investing in solar power and adopting an attitude of energy conservation. While installations for solar power are expensive, busy schedules of fatigued power consumers prevent them from sticking to patterns of energy conservation. But imagine being able to tell your appliances which particular time in the day to go off without having to touch them. Well, for Tech Thursday, we tell you how 21-year-old twins Trisha and Patricia are using their Safe Tech Q appliance protector, which has an inbuilt timer function to bring this imagination to life.
Way before 2015, there used to be load shedding. So they used to give us a schedule when the lights are going to go off and when the lights are going to come on. So sometimes the power fluctuations or how the power just comes in, it used to affect my appliances, even with appliance protectors on them. So what I used to do is that I had to always be on top of my game. I always check the time and make sure that all the appliances are off before that time, and then make sure that I also put it back on, because sometimes I will forget. So it was a very hectic situation.
Meet Trisha and Patricia, the 21-year-old twins who converted their frustration from the vicious power crisis in 2014 into an idea that will soon be known as perhaps one of the most viable options in managing the growing demand for electricity in Ghana, Safe Tech. Patricia Dake, who is the older twin, tells me what started as an attempt to deal with the impact of the infamous Doomsday situation has birthed an appliance protector which comes with a time programming feature that allows users to schedule when they want their gadgets on or off.
The device has a high-tech software that's able to give you the opportunity to put your own program on it, and it will execute that program automatically with no worries, no stress. Monday to Sunday, you can set it on Monday only, Tuesday only, you get the idea, or only weekdays or only weekends, or you can set it throughout the whole week. What I always tell my clients is that you have to analyze your day. Okay, so everyone is going to end up sleeping, let's say latest 12, and there's no one really going to be waking up to open the fridge at 2 a.m. unless you're a special case. So we always tell them that if you're not using it, it should be conserved. You should put it off.
With a massive capacity of 13 amps, SafeTech can accommodate up to 2 gadgets simultaneously. Trisha Dake, who is a co-founder of their distribution company Trisha Patricia Limited, describes how the inbuilt sensor allows it to detect power fluctuations and break the flow of current into the appliances.
That's also something. And then the LED lights, we have the red, we have the green. They indicate whether the power is good or the power is bad. And we have the 90-second period where when your light goes off and then the power comes back on, the device would analyze the power to see whether it's good enough to come in contact with your appliance. There's 16 slots.
And that's it for Tech Thursday. Coming up shortly, we've got business with Daryl Carl. Do stay.
To the sports segment with me, Oreku Ampofo. We start off from a rather sad note. Well, OFFINSO is in a state of mourning as the remaining 4 of the 8 juvenile footballers who died in the fatal road accident are buried. 4 of the footballers, who are Muslims, were buried a few days after the accident in line with Islamic customs, and the cost of the funeral has been taken care of by the government. The 8 footballers who died after the accident were also in Vision Academy, and they were involved in the accident last September 19th while returning from registration. Love FM's Kwesi Deborah was at the funeral, and he joins us on the phone lines to talk about the mood and how the funeral did go. Hi, Kwesi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Oreku.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Okay, I'm doing very well. Let's start off with the funeral itself. How are things going? Has it ended as we speak? And how was the mood at the place today?
Yes, the whole place was mourning. The whole of the OFFINSO town, you're having lots of people also trooping to the town. There's the nearby towns, everybody in there. So you're having about thousands of people who had gathered at the park mourning these 4 heroes. So you had the OFFINSO chief, you had the executives of the Ghana Football Association, and also various MCs also convening at the place. So far, they're about ending. And so we are hoping in about 30 minutes' time, everything should come to a total end.
Yeah, so going forward, what have you heard so far in terms of the support from government? We know that they are covering the cost of the funeral, but do you know of the packages that they also promised the families of the deceased?
Yes, the minister has been speaking. That's Isaac Asiama, and he says that government is going to build an ultra-modern sports stadium for them, and that's in honor of the boys. And beyond that, they are going to the stadium is going to have locker rooms, which is going to bear the pictures of all the 8 boys. And again, they are going to set up 100,000 trust funds for those survivors, so that can really support the sports as a sports development in the area. So these are the main things that the government is doing: building of a sports, an ultra-modern sports stadium for them, and also the 100,000 trust funds for the survivors.
Okay, and quickly before you go, do you also have an update on those who survived the accident and are receiving treatment? Were some of their families present at the funeral as well?
Yes, I spotted about 5 of them, some with various degrees of injury, some to their neck, some to their hands with bandages and stuff like that. So I spotted 5 of them who came around, and they were doing fine. Like, what the question that we asked them is that how are their conditions and stuff like that. And they responded fine, that they are doing very fine. And so we're hoping that with perhaps with what we've seen, it's not that the injury has lessened a bit. So we're hoping that they'll get healed in a matter of few days and get back to the park.
Okay, thank you very much, Kwesi Deborah. He's of Love FM, and he was at the funeral that took place at OFFINSO. It should be wrapping up as we do speak, but we're bringing you updates on our subsequent bulletins as well. But to other stories, where all roads lead to the Daman Golf Course on November 25th as the 7th edition of the Goldfields PGA Championship comes off. Here's a report by Joy Sports' Asari Bediako.
30 golfers drawn from various golf clubs in Ghana and 2 Ghanaians who played in the United Kingdom qualifiers will be competing for the coveted title in the 7th edition of the Goldfields PGA Championship. For the first time since the tournament began in 2014, golfers competed in qualifiers due to limited slots available. The qualifiers, which came off between September 14 and 24, attracted over 58 professional golfers across the country. The winning cash prize is 40,000 Ghana cedis for regulars and 9,000 Ghana cedis for seniors, same as last year's tournament. The total cash prize to be awarded is 167,000 Ghana cedis. This year's Goldfields PGA Championship will not be held with the usual fanfare due to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, Alfred Bako, Executive Vice President and Head of Goldfields West Africa, has assured participants of their safety during the tournament.
Goldfields, you know, we've got 2 operations, one at Takoradi, one at Daman, where we are going to have the tournament. What we've done is, as part of our measures, we have what we call the isolation centers at both operations. So if someone is positive, we've got this isolation center that we can isolate this individual quickly. We've also got our medical staff that will attend to this individual. So that is all organized and in place. I must commend the organizers. They've done a yeoman's job, because at the beginning of the year, when we went into the COVID, I was wondering in my head myself whether we were going to be able to actually organize this year's tournament. So for the organizers to still, with COVID around, with all the measures we have, all the protocols we have, to still come up with an arrangement for us to still host this tournament, they deserve a huge commendation. So I would like to say a big thanks to the organizers.
That's the note on which we'll be ending the sport here. But do remember, Sports Today now comes your way at 4:30, no longer at 2 o'clock, still live on the Joy News channel. My name is Oreku Wampofo, and that wraps it up for sports, but Benis has more news after this. It's great to have you here with us. The National Road Safety Authority just launched the Arrive Alive campaign in Takoradi. JoyNews editor Israel Aye delivered a statement on behalf of the multimedia group. We are partners in that campaign. He joins us with more. So what's the direction of the campaign after the launch, Israel?
Yes, the event is still underway. You have the Transport Minister actually speaking at the moment, but he just goes on to talk about why it is important that the people and road users comply with the road safety regulations to avoid needless deaths. We have had various speakers. We've had the Chief Executive of the Travel Vehicle Licensing Authority and the Ghana Road Safety Authority also speak already. There are a number of events that are taking, 3 events actually taking place today here at the DVLA office in Takoradi. And one of them has to do with the launch of the Arrive Alive road safety campaign. For me, representing multimedia, I had to make the point that multimedia remains committed to ensuring that the message of road safety goes as far and wide as possible. And the fact that, so we just got acknowledged by the Transport Minister for the work we're doing as far as the road safety campaign is concerned and our Arrive Alive campaign. Essentially, we're committing ourselves to get to do this because for us as a media house, it is important that our audiences stay alive so they can listen to us and the messages that we send out can reach, the messages from our clients can get to reach them. So that point has been well made here at the DVLA office at Takoradi at the launch of the Arrive Alive road safety campaign.
Thank you very much, Israel. Israel I, JoyNews editor there, and he's coming to us live from Takoradi, where we've partnered the Road Safety Commission to launch the Arrive Alive campaign. If you listen to me every morning on Joy 99.7 FM, we always give you tips and tell you why you should stay safe on the road and arrive alive. You're watching JoyNews today. We'll be back with more. Do stay.